P-A-R-T.
The days that followed were a blur of pain and numbness. I didn't go to work. I barely left my room. My mother would knock on the door with plates of food that I couldn't bring myself to eat. My father would sit outside and just be there, not saying anything, just being present in the silence. My phone was a battlefield. Messages from him came in waves, long paragraphs filled with apologies, explanations that made no sense, promises that he would change, declarations that what happened meant nothing, that she meant nothing, that I was everything. I blocked him. Then he tried reaching out through his friend. I blocked that number too. My friends rallied around me like a protective circle. They took me out to dinner, made me laugh with bad jokes, reminded me that I was more than just someone's girlfriend. My sisters sat with me in the dark and let me vent. They didn't try to fix it. They just listened. But the pain was suffocating. I would wake up at 3 a.m. with my heart racing, reliving that moment in the bedroom over and over again. I would remember the way he looked at me, the way his face revealed the truth before his words could spin it into a lie. 2 weeks passed, then 3. Slowly, something inside me began to shift. I woke up one morning and realized I was tired of crying, tired of feeling like my world had ended, tired of carrying the weight of his betrayal like it was my fault somehow, like I hadn't been enough. But here's the thing. It wasn't about me not being enough. It was about him choosing not to be enough for me. That's when I made a decision. I was going to stop letting this define me. I signed up for a yoga class I had always been curious about. I started running in the mornings, feeling the burn in my legs and the wind on my face, reminding myself that I was alive and strong. I picked up a book I had been meaning to read for years. I called an old friend I hadn't spoken to in forever, and we laughed so hard our stomachs hurt. I started rediscovering who I was outside of being someone's girlfriend, and I realized something profound. I liked her. The person I was discovering. She was strong, she was resilient, she was capable of love, but she was also capable of walking away when love wasn't enough. A month after the incident, I went out for drinks with my girls. We were at this little bar downtown, the kind of place with dim lighting and good music. A guy tried to approach me, and instead of immediately deflecting, I smiled. I let him buy me a drink. I let myself feel attractive again. I let myself remember that there were other people in the world besides him. I didn't go home with him, but I went home feeling alive. 6 weeks later, I booked a solo trip. I had never traveled alone before. I'd always thought you needed someone else to make it fun, but I spent 3 days in a different city, exploring museums I had never heard of, eating at restaurants I randomly picked, sleeping when I wanted, and waking when I wanted. Nobody was there to disappoint me. Nobody was there to betray my trust. It was just me and the freedom that comes with being your own person. On day 42, after that horrible discovery, I got a text from an unknown number. "I'm sorry. I miss you." My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I could respond. I could open that door again. I could listen to his excuses and maybe, just maybe, believe that people can change. But I had already done all my grieving. Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. I deleted the message without responding. Not out of anger, but out of respect for myself. I had learned something through all of this pain. I had learned that my happiness wasn't dependent on someone else's actions, that my worth wasn't determined by whether someone chose to stay faithful, that I could survive betrayal and actually come out stronger on the other side. I enrolled in evening classes to learn something I had always wanted to explore. I joined a book club where I met people who inspired me. I started journaling, pouring out my thoughts and fears and dreams onto pages that only I would read. I practiced saying no to things that didn't serve me anymore. I practiced saying yes to opportunities that scared me. And slowly, day by day, I rebuilt myself. Not as the woman who got cheated on, not as the victim of betrayal, but as a woman who had experienced pain and had chosen growth instead of bitterness. A woman who understood that sometimes the worst things that happen to us are actually redirecting us toward the best things that will happen to us. 3 months later, I ran into his sister at the grocery store. "How have you been?" she asked, her eyes reflecting the guilt and sadness that even his family felt about what had happened. "I've been good," I said, and I meant it. "Really good, actually." She smiled, relieved. "I'm glad. He's been a mess without you, you know." I nodded. I believed her. But being a mess wasn't my responsibility anymore. "I hope he finds his way," I said kindly. But I found mine. And that, I realized, was the real victory. Not the moment of discovery in his apartment, not the pain that followed, but this moment, right now. Standing in a grocery store, feeling peace in my heart, knowing that I had survived something that could have destroyed me and instead had transformed me. Because sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the best version of yourself. Sometimes losing someone teaches you how to truly love yourself. And sometimes the end of one chapter is actually the beginning of the most beautiful story you'll ever write. And I was finally, truly, completely happy.